This is Lord McAlpine, Alistair McAlpine, who during Margaret Thatcher's time as Prime Minister was Treasurer of the Conservative Party. It is his name which has been widely circulated on the internet as the senior politician accused of child abuse. Today it's been revealed he is the victim of mistaken identity, and he's issued a statement stressing the allegations are wholly false and seriously defamatory. In order to mitigate the damage to my reputation, Lord McAlpine says, I must publicly tackle these slurs and set the record straight. I have never been to the children's home in Wrexham, nor have I ever visited any children's home, reform school or any other institution of a similar nature. Yesterday, the Prime Minister was presented with a list of names from the internet during a television interview, after which Mr Cameron warned against a witch hunt. Earlier, the ITV programme This Morning issued an apology through today's presenter, Ruth Langsford.
Philip has apologised, saying if any viewer was able to identify anyone listed, I'd like to apologise and stress that was never my intention.
Mr Cameron again referred to the programme when asked about Lord McAlpine's statement today.
You have to be very careful before casting aspersions against individuals or bandying people's names around, as was being done yesterday, without proper evidence. And I think every institution, every journalist, every politician has to think carefully about those things.
Names started to circulate online after Steve Mesham, who lived at the children's home, claimed he was abused by a high-ranking Conservative. Lord McAlpine, who now lives in Italy, does not suggest Mr Mesham acted maliciously. But if he does think Lord McAlpine was the man who abused him, he says he is mistaken and has identified the wrong person.
Well, in a moment, we'll go back to Chris for analysis. But first, let's go to Stephen Douglas, who is in Wrexham this lunchtime. Where do we go from here, Stephen?
Well, as far as Lord McAlpine's concerned, he stressed that he's only ever been here to Wrexham once in his life. And he said that he reserves the right to sue anyone who he believes might have published something that's damaged his reputation. But we shouldn't forget that at the centre of all of this, there are people who were the victims of child abuse. And I've been speaking to one of them this morning, and they said to me that what's happened with Lord McAlpine shows exactly why we need a full inquiry into this. He said that rather than people making allegations online and people being forced to deny them, or people making allegations on television, we need to find out exactly who did what and when, because the victims, he said, need to be the focus of this. Now, there are 2 investigations ongoing at the moment, but a lot of people, including those victims, just hope they go far enough because they say they've been let down by inquiries in the past.
Stephen Douglas, thank you to Chris now at Westminster. Chris, Downing Street has this morning defended the decision to launch several inquiries into this scandal.
Yes, it was a point put to the Prime Minister's spokesman here this morning. Did the Prime Minister act too hastily when he ordered this new inquiry? And I think maybe if you stood back and we now know what we do know after what Lord McAlpine said in this statement, that he was a victim of mistaken identity, then maybe there is some validity to that. But I think it is worth bearing in mind these are serious allegations. They involve the party of which Mr Cameron is leader. Mr Cameron had been very strong as far as the BBC and Jimmy Savile is concerned, and could not be seen to be any less strong when it came to these particular claims. Now, Downing Street did point out this morning they haven't asked for the 1990s Waterhouse inquiry to be reopened. They have simply, they say, asked a High Court judge to look at the scope and conduct of it. And Downing Street's position remains this: if anyone's got any evidence against anyone, no matter how high-standing they were or are in society, then the place to go with that evidence is the police.